Hi, I'm Veronica and welcome to my channel. In this special Christmas video, I would like to show you two restorative poses which you can do even when your stomach is full. So get into that rest and digest mode and allow your tensions to melt away. You will need for this practice either a thick blanket, a cushion, and a thinner blanket. Or if you have a booster, a yoga booster or something like a cushion of the similar shape and density, then you can use that and a pillow and maybe one thin blanket. So the first pose I'd like to show you is done lying on the side. And you can use either a bolster or a rolled up thick blanket to place underneath the lower part of your rib cage. And start with lying on the right side so that you give yourself space for the stomach more on the left. And you will also need the second cushion or maybe a couple of them. You will see how it works to support your head. So once you make your way down, the position that's rolled a blanket or a bolster underneath the lower portion of your rib cage. And then you position yourself in such a way that you have a support, a comfortable support for your head. So it might be that you need a higher support. You will need to work it out for yourself. The bottom arm is extended. So maybe I'd like to have a little bit more support here, actually. Let's see. Feels just about right. So it's important that you use props so that it's fully comfortable. And maybe sometimes it's a nice idea to have something in between of the knees or maybe even in between of the whole lower legs. That's another thing you might consider. Now, as for the top arm, you're going to feel that full expansion, a spaciousness on the one side of the torso if you have the arm overhead, but it has to be comfortable. So there's no problem if it's a little bit ahead of you, and it should feel like limp and comfortable. If there's any discomfort in the shoulder joint here, then you know you need to find a different position for that arm. So find a place where the arm is fully comfortable. The bottom arm has all space. There is no discomfort anywhere in the body. So not in the neck, not in the knees. Everything is padded. Put as many layers and warm clothes as you need to stay here in stillness. And you can really stay in this position for up to 10 or even 15 minutes. So right now I'm only showing you how this position looks like, and there are many options for you. Sometimes it actually feels better if you have an opportunity to do some micro movements. A complete stillness might not work for everybody. So a beautiful micro movement that you can do here is a little bit of rolling over the bolster, forward and backward, giving a tiny bit of a massage for the rib cage on the other side. You might also notice that just changing the angle slightly after a couple of minutes, so that maybe you have more of a exposed space in the front of the rib cage. Might give you some new sensations going all the way towards the waistline. So this is another option for you. Basically, there's no need to be completely still here. And what you can really focus on as you are in this position is breathing and feeling how the breath kind of automatically travels to that part of the body that feels more open, that spacious area in between of the ribs, on the side that is facing the ceiling. It's up to you if you keep your eyes open or closed. But your only task here is to soften everything so that you don't have any feeling that you have to hold something. You don't hold your head, you don't hold your arm, you don't keep anything rigidly. Your body is completely soft and giving its weight down. And that process can go on and on. If you check exhalation, melting and softening a little bit more. So if you're enjoying this, simply pause the video now and stay here for as long as you wish. There is no point to stay in this position for any shorter than 5 minutes. 5 minutes is what your body really needs to really start getting into that mode of really releasing all that unnecessary tension and guard, and for your nervous system to start switching. If you feel hear your belly talking, for example, it's a good sign. It shows that you're switching into that rest and digest mode. And you can release that top arm, and whenever you need to come out of it, do it very, very slowly and gradually, removing one prop at a time. Rolling a little bit more towards the floor first. Prop yourself against the floor to very, very gradually and slowly come out. The second position I wanted to show you requires, again, either a bolster or a really big, thick blanket that you roll up as if it was a bolster. So that's how you get your own bolster, tightly rolled so that it doesn't collapse underneath you. And this time you keep your bolster vertical. And definitely you want to have a thin blanket so that your head is a little bit higher. And then you need also something at the far end to create this kind of inclined plane so that the head is higher. It's going to be particularly important if you have eaten, right? So the head is a little bit higher and you have that support all along the spine. So that's how you make your way down onto it. And if you feel that the bolster is too high and it doesn't feel comfortable for your lower back, you can think of creating something like a middle size transition, some smaller cushion just in front of it so that there's not sudden height, but it's more gradual incline. And here you have that extra blanket to support your head. And you're gonna focus on feeling that opening along the front of the rib cage, along the collarbone. And I have a couple of options regarding the legs. So most likely after a meal, it would be nice to have the knees bent and feet on the mat in that constructive rest pose, but making sure that you don't need to tense the legs and they just stay there in a comfortable way. If you want to have your legs long, then definitely support your thighs with that. And then it might actually give you a little bit more space for the intestine, might feel nice as well. So you'll see what's going to work for you. Where do you prefer to be? And regarding the arms, again, here you want to have that bolster narrow enough so that you feel that there is space for those fronts of the shoulders to drop away. And sometimes it feels like the earth is too far away and it doesn't really support your arms. All depends on the body proportion. So then you might get some extra support for your forearms, for example. But in general, you want that gravity to start working on you. And here again, just make sure that this is your optimal position for the next 10 minutes or so. That there's definitely no discomfort in the lower back, not in the neck or shoulders themselves. The legs can relax completely. And as you're in that inclined position, you're gonna be fine. Like it should not feel uncomfortable, even if you have eaten. You can then spend some time allowing your body to become heavy, give all the weight of your legs to the ground of your pelvis. Feel that continuous support along your spine and give the weight of all the upper body, including your head. Allow the gravity to work on the shoulders so that they can sink somewhere towards the floor gradually. There's no trying to move them in any way, it just happens on its own. The arms are heavy as well. And if you feel very exposed, you can cover yourself with a thick blanket or choose the option with the knees bent. It might feel a little bit more cozy. Think of all that space you have in front of you. And all the support that you have underneath you. And again, you can spend here as much time as you wish, feeling that expansion, spaciousness in the front body, particularly when you inhale, and feeling how the exhalation invites you to settle, to sink, to melt, to soften. And that softening includes also everything in the front of your body, including all the facial muscles, eyes, jaw, throat, and also your belly and everything within the pelvis. So again, feel free to stay here for as much more time as you want. for minimum period of 5 minutes to really start feeling the benefits. And as usual, if you start feeling this is not optimal for you, you want to change the position, you want to have your hands over the belly or over the chest or whatever else, remember those are always the options. You don't need to be perfectly still. Maybe you want to roll your head very slowly from side to side. There are many micro movements you could do even as you are in a restorative pose. And whenever you feel complete, if you had your legs long, you're going to bend them first. And the best way to come out of this position is to roll to the side. Spend a good few minutes here, lying in that curled up shape before very gradually you start pushing yourself away from the ground and coming to the upright position.